Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, I will be showing you a really broken solar warlock build in Destiny 2. This build kind of got buffed in the final shape with the new exotic that released for the warlock. In this build, we will showcase all aspects, fragments, armor mods, exotics, and how the build works. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I did pair with my buddy sirhaws for this video. He came up with this absolutely awesome build. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. In the meantime though, before we cover the aspects and fragments, I would like to say we are doing a Final Shape annual pass giveaway. If you want to have a shot at winning, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below how much you're enjoying the Final Shape so far. Anyways, guys, with no further ado, let's get right into it. One thing I would like to clarify before I show the fragments and aspects for this build, if you are not running this build, but your buddy is running this build, in some of the gameplay here, my buddy Sir Hawes is using this build, and then I have these mods on. These mods benefit him greatly and also benefit me because they give me a nice damage buff on my weapons. We'll explain all later on into the further part of the video, but yeah, let's get into the important part. So, starting with Ember of Emprian, on top of that, we're going to be using Ember of Mercy, and then the one and only Ember of Benevolence, and then Ember of Solace. Make sure you use Benevolence and Mercy. Those are the most important fragments to this build. Next up, we'll be covering is the aspects and weapons. Alrighty, so for the Song of Flame super, you're going to want to make sure you're using this as this synergizes with the build very well. Then Phoenix Dive for the extra health, Burst Glide, Jump Preference, and then Incinerator Snap, and then the Healing Grenade. Touch of Flame for the aspect, and then the Hylian aspect, which is a new one that was released. This gives you literal healing turns, it's a lot of fun. So why exactly do you want to use the No Hesitation Auto Rifle with the Physic perk in Destiny 2? Well, it is very important to use this auto rifle with this build for one reason. You can literally use a mini well of radiance with this auto rifle. This thing is a support frame, so it is very important. Flexible, the support frame is essentially giving you a healing capability for healing your allies. Now, the Physic perk, Rapidly Healing Allies, grants you and your allies restoration for an improved duration. Now, this restoration is actually times 2. Now, times 2 is the best restoration, and I'm telling you, in the gameplay I will show you for PvP aspect of this build, there was times where I've been hit by a bow and I've had my health back literally instantly within seconds. Now, next up for this build, we're going to be covering armor mods. Armor mods are going to be very crucial for this build, and on top of that, the exotic that you have to rock with this build. If you aren't using this exotic, the build will not work out, and it is the heart of this build. So definitely pay attention for the next part. So the exotic that we're going to be pairing this build with is the Speaker's Sight. This is a new exotic helmet released in the final shape. What this exotic's perk does is it's called the Lost Voice. Healing grenades spawn a restorative turret. Healing allies occasionally spawns an orb of power. This orb of power is very good because it helps you get your super faster than usual, and it is very broken in PvP and PvE. The cool thing about this build is this synergizes with both aspects of Destiny, PvE, and PvP. I'll show you guys some gameplays from both POVs and further on armor mods. So here's the armor mods we're rocking. On the Speaker's Sight helmet, we are using a heavy ammo finder, a special ammo finder, and then a kinetic siphon mod, and a resilience mod, of course. Very important to have. Now on our gauntlets, double grenade kickstart for that fast grenade kickstart. Now on our chestplate, we're using resistance for all 3 elements. On our boots, we're just running the basic grenade mods, as you can see. On our mark, we're just using Reaper, and then Bomber, and then a charged mod. This is ideally all you need when it comes to the mod build for armor. I would highly suggest making sure you copy these mods and use the No Hesitation auto rifle. So here's some PvP gameplay. This build works the exact same as PvE, but one thing about PvE builds is they don't usually synergize in PvP as well as a build that is used as much in PvE. So this build is so much more powerful in PvE. Now this is some gameplay. I also showed PvE gameplay from my sirhaws buddy perspective. He used this in PvE and that was the gameplay. Now this build pretty much utilizes the new aspect that was added in the final shape for solar. You are pretty much always going to have a turret that's going to give you health, and the person that throws that turret is always going to have infinite health and infinite abilities. Now, keep in mind when you're standing in that turn, you're going to get solar weapon charges. These charges are going to make your gun depending on what mod you put on your boots. I put that in at the beginning of the video where it clearly states that I have solar charge mods where my gun does more damage depending on the element. So if you're using a void gun, make sure you have the mods via to whatever gun you're using. That is very, very important. But this build's going to allow you to have restoration times 2 up 24/7, reunited, but I mean that's the game modes like modifier. You're gonna have knockout based off my build. If you did not check out my build I used, go check that out. I posted it like literally a day ago. It's the Titan build. That shows you kind of the build I'm using here in PvP and PvE. Now, regardless of how far away you are from your teammate, this restoration will always stay. Usually restoration you have to stand in a orb or so to get. Well, now that restoration will permanently stay and it stacks times 2. So pretty much all you need is a teammate to play medic the entire game. As you can see here, I literally almost have infinite health every single time. And then, my teammate here, sirhaws, is literally always ready to get me up. So, I mean, it's like, there's no dying with this build. Now, I'm on Titan. So imagine 2 of these warlocks, right? 2 medics. This build will literally not let you die. We mercy ruled every single team we played in Crucible with this build. I honestly think this might be one of my favorite builds in Destiny 2. I have another match of Crucible that we played as well, gameplay-wise, that I will show you, and I'll explain more in specifics on how the build works. But, this game is ideally my honest thoughts and opinions on this build. Is this build going to be broken? Absolutely. I have not seen a single content creator make a single build video dedicated to this new Solar Warlock frame because, everybody's just been distracted by Prismatic. Don't get me wrong, Prismatic is absolutely awesome, but guys, this new subclass that they added for Warlock Song of Flame is absolutely busted, especially when paired with the new Hesitation support frame auto rifle. As you can see, we just mercy ruled that team in like 4 minutes. But yeah, anyways, let's get on to the next part of the video where we showcase how the build works. So in short, as you can see, on the bottom left of my screen, I have Restoration, Linear Actuators, Solar Weapon Boost times 2, and the Reunited buff, and Armor Charge. And there's more on the screen that aren't showing due to Bungie only letting you see 4. Linear Accuracy is obviously Doom Marches. Restoration is coming from that orb that sirhaws is throwing down. Now those orange pellets that he's shooting are, in short, literally just the no hesitation auto rifle. Now the no hesitation auto rifle, every time he shoots me with it, I'm getting my health back. So when he shoots me with that auto rifle, he's constantly getting his abilities back 24/7, leading him to have the heal grenade almost 24/7. I would like to clarify that there is one problem with this build, and it's if you're not running double warlocks. Double warlocks make this build so much better. You're only seeing about 50% of the potential here. Now, keep in mind, every time you do stand in that little orb that he throws down, that orb is going to generate a orb of power, which will give you like 1% of your super. It's a very small amount, but it still gives you a buff to getting your super faster. So in a game of like Trials where it's 3v3 based, this is going to benefit you a lot. Same within PvE, because in PvE you get double the orb count, so that orb is going to give you a lot more power to your super. This build is absolute nuts in PvE. I showed some gameplay at the beginning of the video. That was kind of like the PvE aspect, but this is like the full PvP guide and tutorial on how to utilize this build. I think the coolest thing about this entire build is just how it synergizes in both game modes. Have you guys ever seen a build that can be used in both? I personally have not. What about you guys? Now, essentially though, as you can see, I have Onslaught and then that solar buff, which is making my auto shoot for like 32 instead of 28. This is absolute nuts. Look, if you guys look, see, I'm sending in that little ball right now. I have Cure, Restoration, and then Solar Weapon Boost. That Solar Weapon Boost sticks until you switch off to your secondary weapon, or your special weapon, I should say. If you guys look how weak I am to that bow, right? sirhaws here shoots me, throws a Restoration Grenade, I get my health back. Another good example is over here, when I get hit by that bow. Boom, I literally have my health back when I slide this corner. Boom, got it back. Now, when I get hit by this bow right here, he throws that stasis grenade down. I push this guy, and then boom, what do you know? sirhaws is right behind me, and I have restoration, which is already giving me my health back literally instantly. So this build makes it almost nearly impossible to die in endgame content and PvP. I would highly suggest you to use this build right now before it gets nerfed, because I can tell you guys right now, there is no way that Bungie does not see this build and nerf it, because this might be the all-time most overpowered PvP and PvE build we've ever gotten. we mercy ruled every single team that we matched in this 2v2 game mode, the new Crimson Doubles game mode that came back after like 3 years. And this made the Legend Master Lost Sectors and Legend campaigns a literal piece of cake. I mean, it is nearly impossible to die in whatsoever. I hope you guys found this video cool, informative, or helpful. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way and helps me out a lot in the long run. That's all we have for today's video. I hope this reached the right audience, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, sub, and check out our sponsor, Diving.net. Guardians, I would like to recommend you a fantastic service. Diving.net, you can find teams to complete different activities like raids, dungeons, Trials of Osiris, exotic farming, and many more endgame activities. The best part about the service is it does not require you to share your account information whatsoever. You don't need to give your login or password to order service that you like. All you have to do is select the self-play option. To do this, select something you like. In this case, I'll do Crow Design. You're going to choose your clear option. I'll be doing the full clear, so click full clear. Then select the self-play option. As you can see right now, we have $25. To get a discount, make sure you type in code HECTIC for a 15% discount here. As we can see right now, our total is $25.05. If we apply this coupon, we get $24, so you save $1. I would highly advise doing this. From here, you're going to choose a payment method. There's Visa, PayPal, and a few other payment options. In this case, we'll be using Visa. From here, agree to the terms and services, and then proceed to checkout. I would highly recommend Niming.net, especially because the funnel shape is releasing and there's many awesome services that can be done. That's all for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one.